Why did you hate me so much when we met?
I did. Only for making me want you so badly.
And I know that you have wanted so badly to get into our first report, so let's look at it. The fish oil and SDA assignment. Here's the idea. Fish oil has been shown, and this is actually true, that it'll increase ovulation in women. Let's just pause for a minute. Why is that important? We're talking about women who are ready to start a family and are having a difficult time having kids. And fish oil can increase that chance and make it so that they can start the family that they want to have. But some women could be allergic to fish oil. So we have this stearidonic acid, SDA, that maybe could be a good substitute, meaning we're not hoping this is better or worse. We're just hoping that it'll have the same effect. Here is the data, and let's see if I can zoom in on this. You'll notice the sample sizes are not the same, and that's okay. They don't need to be the same. We had more rats on fish oil and fewer rats on SDA. Can we show a difference? If not, maybe this is worth investigating as a substitute. If so, then we would want to say, well, hang on, this isn't quite going to have the same effect. So let's make a report. What does a report look like? It does not look like bullet points on a homework. There's going to be an introduction explaining what's the goal and why is this important. Listen, this is a pretty common thing for students to get wrong, and it's a really important one. It's not important whether the averages match each other. It's not important whether the p-value is small or whether we reject the null hypothesis. It's not even important whether we've done the statistics right. The question is, can women who want to start a family use SDA to help them get the same effects fish oil when they are allergic? That's what's important. So focusing on we want to see if the null hypothesis is true just tells me that you've never known someone in the situation who wanted to start a family and couldn't. That's why this is a big deal. And that's the emphasis of the introduction, not the statistical theory or analysis. It does specifically ask for a plot of oil or a plot of SDA. There are several different ways you can plot that. I've seen students pull out a piece of paper and just draw boxes on a number line and then they paste that into their report. I've seen students open up Paint. It doesn't have to be fancy. We are going to learn the program R and how to do it very easily and simple in that. Surprisingly, it's not that easy to get Excel to do it. So if you're doing this by hand, when we learn how to do it in R, you're going to say, oh wow, this is so much easier. What program we're using, and if it's Excel or R. If you're doing it by hand, if you're doing it on a TI calculator, that's fine. What type of test, the alpha, the results, what was the p-value, what about the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis says they are the same. Are you going to fail to reject that, or are you going to reject that? And then conclusion. Again, this is about hope for more research into a drug that could potentially benefit women who want to start a family and are allergic to the fish oil option. It's not about, do I reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis? Statisticians care about that. Anyone not in a stat class is going to say, don't talk to me about the null, talk to me about what we have learned about women who are trying to start a baby. And yeah, this research is about rats, but if it's working for rats, can it work for women? That's the question we want to answer. If you mess up on getting the right p-value, yeah, you might lose a few points. If you mess up on interpreting the p-value, you'll lose more points. But if you mess up on the point of the paper, that's where you're going to get hit really hard. So look right here at the rubric. Points start at 100 points automatically. And then everything that's wrong makes you lose points. They call this a critical fail rubric. It's really popular in like nursing, where if you're trying to give a patient an injection and you do everything right, but you mess up one tiny thing and the patient dies, yeah, you lose all your points. Okay, you killed the patient. So it is actually possible to get 0 points, even negative points. I'd have to add it up to see whether this particular one has enough points to actually go negative. And that's not weird or unusual if you get a low score like that. Remember, in the grade book, you get 100% for trying. And then as you look through the rubric, you'll be like, oh, intro explains the importance. And I'll have this little note. It's not about the null and alternative. It's about women wanting to have children or that sort of thing. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. And you'll have a better idea of what we're looking for on the final project. Title, intro, we've talked about that. Having the plots, those were requested by the client. what program was used, the alpha, so that you can know what you're deciding with your hypothesis test, getting the right p-value, and then relating the p-value back to fish oil and SDA, because that's what matters, making a conclusion, and what's the impact of this going to be, and where are people going to be going next in the research. And then, of course, is the writing good? Those are the sorts of things we're looking for. So go forward, surge without fear, because it's not going to hurt your grade. And if you mess up because it turns out I was looking for something different, great. This is an opportunity for us to collaborate and say, here's what we're looking for.